Hello, everyone out there. Today is day 4. Yeah, I think it's day 4. So we started Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. No, today is day 5. Whoops, kind of put the wrong day on there. I lose track of the week. I really do, especially when I'm at home most of the time. I just completely forget. But anyway, welcome to Reset, Refresh, Renew. Hey, Serenity, I see you. I know that's not your name, but I see it on your screen name, so that's what I call you. So yes, and today we are talking about money. Money. Can't really go into the song because I don't want to be dinged for copyright. So yes, you know the song, you know what I'm talking about, and this is something that everybody absolutely loves. But before we get into all of that, just make sure you hang around to the end because I'm going to help you save money by giving away secret Etsy promo codes at the end, and you never know what discount you're going to get until that little screen pops up in the corner, and you get actually bonus entries for a giveaway. Okay, so now you can get up to 70% off. Up to, I have to say up to, because it can be anywhere in that range. And of course, the giveaway cannot continue on without giving you a little bit of information about that. You see this link that's above my head right here up there on the screen? If you were to go to that link, you will actually have the chance to enter into a giveaway that I am hosting. Excuse me, and it's the biggest one yet. Over here in the corner, that's what the screen looks like. Right there. Wait. That way. I forget where the camera is going. Where I'm giving away like 10 oils, like 5 spiritual baths. I'm giving away so many different things that, hey, you really can't lose with this one. And you get to enter in for free. And you have like all these other different options where you get bonus entries and whatnot. And it's going to be going on the entire month of May. Okay. The entire month of May where you have a chance to enter. But not only do you get to enter for free up here at the top, on my link tree, then you also have the chance to get 100 bonus entries by going to my Etsy shop and making a purchase. But before you check out on that screen, you have to enter in a secret code that I will give you at the end of this broadcast that will boost your chancing and getting like almost $300 worth of products for absolutely freaking free. So this is Reset, Refresh, Renew because I absolutely love this time of year where we get to really get into who we are, understanding self-care, new beginnings because it's May and all of that good stuff that comes along with it. And so what better way than to reset, refresh, or renew our money? Because money is one of those topics, and I'm probably going to go ahead and start now because it's a really deep topic, and I can talk on and on and on about it. If you haven't already seen some of the videos that I have on YouTube regarding money. I know I have one video that is called why you're broke, and people got really mad at the title. But it wasn't a way for me to try to come at people, because that's just not in my nature. It's really to say, hey, these are the words that you're using. And so now let's see why these are the words that you're using and how to change them. But anyhow, I digress. But before we get into that, we're just going to chat a little bit about the ultimate money oil that I have here in the corner. I'm going to point the right way this time. Okay. Yes, the ultimate money oil that is right over there in the corner that I have available in my Etsy shop. Now, this particular oil, you can use it really any kind of way. Oh, my face is being hidden by the block. Let me make this screen a little bit smaller. Oh, there we go. Yeah, now I'm not being blocked. So yes, you can use this oil any kind of way. A couple of different ways. My favorite ways are actually anointing your cash that you may have in your pocket, anointing coins, things like that. Because within this oil, not only do you get the herbs that correspond with money, but you also get real money in the oil. And so when you have something like that inside of the oil, you have to have something in order to attract it to. You have to have, whether it's a torn piece of money, whether it's a bill in your pocket, you have to have something to attract it back to. And so I add this money in the oil, because what better way to make a money oil than to add real money, right? I mean, it just makes sense. And if you want to know what this oil smells like, it smells a little bit, it's like a spicy orange kind of smell. That's the best way I can put it. A spicy type orange. You can actually wear it too if you want. It's really an oil for your everyday use whenever you want to attract more abundance, more prosperity into your life. My dad even uses it. He has a hobby of the lottery, and so I said, Dad, here you go, take some of this. So yes, now also, one other way with as far as like anointing your cash, and I'm going to get into debit cards here in a second, but anointing your cash, I have a separate video on my YouTube that shows you exactly how to anoint your cash. But I am going to give you just a little brief description on how you anoint your cash. So, like for example, you have a bill, it's in a long rectangle. You want to put oil in the corners, all four corners of that bill, right? And you also want to put it in the middle. And as you're doing that, you really want to zone in and concentrate on the cash flow that's coming in. So this is a moment where you are putting out there in the universe, you're saying a prayer, you're doing what it is that you need to do to be able to bring that money to you. And so one of the things that I like to say whenever I do something like this is, as I anoint this bill and I spend it, come back with 10 of your friends. Because money literally is just paper with energy attached to it. It is literally a currency. And when you think about an electric current, it is something that goes around in a circle. I mean, think about our economy. Money just flows from one hand to the one next to the next to the next to the next. And so when it's my turn in that circular currency, I want it to come back to me with more friends because that is how it grows, right? You don't want the same amount. You want all of the money coming back. And so that is why I say, as you're doing this particular anointing of the bill, then you also, now, technically, you're not supposed to do this, but whatever. You sign your name really small underneath the Treasury Director's signature that's in the corner. Okay, that is your final stamp on that bill, saying, "Hey, you belong to me. I'm going to send you out there, and now you know who to come back to." Okay, and you can do that with each and every one of your bills. Again, I have a separate video on YouTube on my channel, School of Magick, where you can do this. I gave you step-by-step instructions, right? And it's pretty much what I just said here. You can use this in a bath if you really want to feel that energy of money. Maybe, you're not feeling so well as far as like your finances, and you're not really feeling the energy of prosperity or abundance, and you really want to boost up your spirits when it comes to that, then you can add a few drops into your bath. Now, I will have to address this because this is something that I really just kind of found out, especially when going out and looking at houses, is that a lot of people don't have baths. And so I'm going to tell you how to use that. Oh, thanks. I'm going to tell you how to use the oils instead of you sitting inside of a bath, where most people really do just have stand-up showers. I personally am like, why are they making houses without baths anymore? And I guess nobody really takes baths anymore. It's all showers. It's old school thinking. But anyhow, if you do have just a stand-up shower, then get you a little bucket or put a little bit in your washcloth along with your soap and wash yourself, with the oil. That's one way that you can do it. Or if you did decide to get a little bucket, put a few drops in and pour it all over you. Now, you don't get a chance to sit in the water and soak in the water and meditate in it. But in that moment, as the water is pouring over you, and you can do it as many times as you want, then of course the energy is raining over you as well. And I would suggest doing it from head to toe. But technically, when you're in a bath, I recommend when you're bringing things to you that you really bring the water up towards your feet to the top of your head. But you gotta be able to modify things as technology in the world changes. And so that's why I suggest with the whole, like, not bucket, or I guess a bucket, a pitcher, something like that. I don't know. And so this oil is one of my absolute favorites because, especially if I'm pouring it and I accidentally spill a little bit, I'll just like rub it on myself. Like, come on. Or rub it in my hands. And another thing that you can do with this oil is you can actually anoint or place a little bit on your sacral chakra. Okay? And that is the chakra point that is right below your belly button. That is where creativity lives. That is where all of our sex organs live. And that is where money lives, right? And so you can place a little bit there and you can meditate with it, especially if you're going to sleep at night. You can combine this oil with the money affirmations playlist that I have. I'm sorry, not playlist, the money affirmations video that I have on YouTube, where you can literally just hit play and it loops for 8 hours. And so it has the affirmations regarding money have a chance to embed themselves into your subconscious, right? And so now you're starting to attract even more. So there's so many different layers that you can add when using oils. It's not just the oil, but if you really want to supercharge your abundance and supercharge your manifestations, then these are some of the things that you can do. Okay. Now, here's one thing I will say, okay? Money is one of my absolute favorite topics, and some people might view that as, oh, you're being gluttonous. Oh, you're it's the root of all evil. And I'm like, no, it's not. Money is not the root of all evil. Money is not evil at all. It's actually something that it's a necessity. It's something that we have to have in order to literally survive. And so all of that energy that is attached to that one piece of paper, we put so much faith and so much energy into it that we feel like, we don't either deserve it or we can't attract it. It's a piece of paper. I'll tell you this. It's real interesting. When I really started getting really heavy into learning how to manifest money and checking myself when it comes to things that was hurting my manifestation process, then I would play little games, right? I would play little games with the money, and I go, okay, so let's see what happens out here. Hey Helen, I see you checking in on YouTube. So I would say, okay, I will attract a penny today. Penny a penny, a lot of people just overlook it, we don't really think about it. But when you start paying attention to the signs that surround you, especially when you find pennies on the ground, then now you're picking up signs from the universe. The universe said, oh, okay, you want a penny? Here you go. Now, if you go about your day and you're playing this game with the penny and you see it on the ground and you say, oh, I'm not picking that up. It's no telling where it's been. It just looks dirty, whatever. Then now you are rejecting what you wanted to attract. And so your universe is like, yo, what's the deal? You said you wanted this and now you're telling me you don't. I'm so confused. What is it that you really want? And so now you have to say, hey, okay, I'm looking to attract this penny. I see it on the ground. I need to pick that penny up and I need to show gratitude to the universe for allowing my path to cross with that penny. Now, I use the example of pennies because that's something that's really easy to attract. We don't really think too much about a penny. It's when we get into the larger amounts that is like, oh, the more tension that comes with it. Now, you can increase your increments as you go along. Once you become the bomb at attracting pennies, now what you need to do is step your game up and go to nickels. And when you start going up to nickels, go to dimes and then quarters, and then soon you'll start attracting bills. Now, I'll tell you this. I was going to go into the story earlier and then I got sidetracked. So in the midst of me playing this whole manifestation of money, you have to, when you're asking the universe for something, you have to listen to that inner guidance. Now, why is that super important? That inner guidance is going to tell you how to get to that point where the universe is giving you this nudge and saying, go here, go do this, And as you get used to listening to that, it's going to put you in the path of what it is that you want. And so, for example, this was quite a few years ago. Well, it wasn't that long ago, but it was probably about 4 or 5 years ago. I heard this, I'm playing this game of money, right? So I hear this urge to go check the mail. And it had absolutely nothing to do with money. And I'm like, go check the mail? What are you talking about? Okay, I'll go out and check the mail. And I walk to the mailbox because I'm in an apartment complex. And I'm walking, and sure enough, right along my path, there is a $50 bill on the ground. And I go, I'm looking around like, is there anybody around me? Did anybody drop this? Well, shoot, let me go ahead and pick this up and put it in my pocket real quick. That nudge that I felt, like I said, had absolutely nothing to do with money. And that's just how manifestation works. You don't always know, what it is that you need to do in order to get to that point. It's really simply just the point of listening and trusting yourself and knowing that if you do decide to go and do something, on the other side, it's going to get you one step closer to where you want to be. I cannot tell you how many times I have seen that to be the case. It is 100% absolutely true. And as you start to play along and you get better and better and better at this, it's going to work for you all the time. Now, how does this oil come into play, right? As you're playing this game, this oil it is a tool to boost that manifestation of money. So it's going to help your vibration, your energy, your inner energy to resonate on the level of money. Now, there are some other things I have to talk about. Okay. Give me 1 second. Let me take a little sip of water. There are some other things we have to talk about. We have to talk about your words. Yeah. And your thoughts and things of that nature that comes with money. And before we talk about that, because that plays a really big role in it, I'm going to address this one question on how do you use it. Hey, Sunny, I see you checking in from YouTube. So how do you use the money oil? Well, I mentioned a little bit earlier, but I have absolutely no problem repeating it. There are a few different ways that you can, is by anointing your cash. Where I do have a separate video on my YouTube that shows you just how to anoint your cash. And as you're anointing your cash, you send it out into the universe and you ask it to come back with 10 of its friends. Now, I did forget to address how to use it with debit cards because many people don't have cash. I tend to try to keep a few dollars of cash on me just because of that energy and that visualization of seeing the paper around. Well, you can actually anoint your debit card with it. And so as you're swiping, make sure you put a little bit of the oil on that debit card as you're swiping. And again, saying that same mantra mentally as you're swiping your card, this money that I'm spending is coming back to me 10 times fold. I mean, you can say something along those lines. It doesn't have to be exactly like that. Okay, thank you, Helen, for explaining that. I really, really appreciate you. I really do. And so now let's get back to your words, okay? So now you're playing these games of manifesting money. Now you're using this oil on manifesting money, and you seem to be getting a little bit better at it. But then you might come to a halt, okay? And now you're at this place where you're like, wait, what's going on? I thought I was playing this game, and right now it seems like I'm losing. I'm not really coming across any of my pennies or my nickels anymore. But now enters the subconscious. There is, in Magick School, we talked about this actually a couple of classes ago, which is my specialty membership course on YouTube, where we talked about the subconscious and how it works. And really, the subconscious is like a giant boombox where different activities that happen in your life, they get recorded on cassette tapes, and then whenever those different experiences happen, your subconscious goes and gets that tape and plugs it into the boombox, and boom, now you're responding to situations the same way that you've always responded to. And sometimes it might not be your own actions. It could be the way other people have treated you, or other things that people have said to you, and those also get plugged into your subconscious. Music gets plugged into your subconscious, and I'm going to talk about that here in a minute because I got another trick for you. When you get all of these things stuck and you're trying to figure out how to maneuver and how to really attract this money, you have to check and see, have you always heard, oh, I'm broke, I'm broke, I'm broke? Or have you been, a little kid and you wanted to buy something and your mom was like, or your dad or a parent, guardian, or whatever, was like, I can't afford it, I can't afford it, I can't afford it, I can't afford it, I can't afford it. And so, or that's too expensive, that's too expensive, that's too expensive, that's too expensive. So you see how now you grow up and you're using money and you're, going out and get a job and whatever, and you want to get something. Oh, that's too expensive. Oh, I can't afford it. Oh, I'm broke right now. Oh, I just don't have it. Those are the tapes that's hindering you from manifesting money. Oh, I have had to go into my mind and realize I have got to stop saying these things. And I have worked on it. And now I'm at a point where, of course, I can catch myself very quickly. I don't really say it anymore, but trust me, I did. And I had to catch myself from telling my daughter, who was younger at the time, that I can't say those things where, oh, it's too expensive. So now as she's older and I'm teaching her, about money, and teaching her it's not evil so she can get used to it. She's 9 years old now. And she goes, oh, I want this. And granted, I spoil her because she's my only girl, right? And so when I'm not in a spoiling mood and I'm trying to teach some lifelong lessons to her, I tell her, we're not getting that right now. Okay. We're not going to get that right now because XYZ. And usually what follows behind that XYZ is you just got this. Now I need you to appreciate what you just got before you get something else. I need to enforce a lesson of gratitude, which she's a grateful child, and I don't doubt her, but she's just like any other kid. You see something, you want it. But that goes to show, like, as children, we already have this innate ability, really and truly, to manifest what it is that we want. Because as children, they don't have concepts of time, right? And they don't have this lack mentality. They just see something, they want it, and they got to figure out how to get it. Now they got to go through an adult because child labor laws don't allow little kids to work right now, but they're going to figure out their means of getting it. And so it falls on us and our responsibility to be able to instill these values as young as we possibly can, so that they don't repeat, like me, that I'm broke, that it's too expensive, that I can't afford it. Now, let's get into reality for a second, because sometimes what we want to manifest doesn't match up to what's in our bank account. Now, I will tell you this. Money in itself, really, especially when it comes to banks, and especially when we're using debit cards, it doesn't exist. It is literally a computer saying this person has this. There's no cash or paper attached to it, which is going back to the reason why I try to keep some paper cash on me. Because I really don't keep it a whole lot, but when I do, I tend to try to keep it. Now, when we have this account that is like, why can't a computer just, automatically drop some numbers into my account, right? Because it's not really money at that time. It's really just a computer system that says certain things on it. But let's say, for the sake, I want this car and I need a down payment of $1,000. And you're looking here in your account and you go, okay, I don't really have $1,000. How can I get this? Well, now we're going back into the ideas, the nudges from the universe, the conversations. Like, when I say nudges from the universe, I'm talking about literally, like, maybe our ancestors are talking to us, maybe our angels, our guides, whomever you decide to work with. Maybe they're the ones that's helping us, and we just have to listen. And as we're listening, we're going to get ways on getting that $1,000 to be able to get the car, right? And so, again, I do this all the time. I do it all the time. And if I can't listen to the nudge right then, I really try to make some time to do that at another time where it's more convenient. And I'm like, okay, I hear y'all. I see. Okay, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. And then, after a while of them like beat me over the head, I go, okay, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna follow. I'm gonna follow suit. Okay, I'm gonna listen. But anyhow, so yes, it is a necessity to not say that I'm broke or it's too expensive, but instead, because a lot of times most times we really can afford it if you look at it. So let's say let's go back to our example where you want this car and you got to have $1,000 down payment, and you have like $1,500 in your account, and you go, okay, but I got to pay rent. So I really can't, like, I'm broke. I got to pay rent, and $1,500 comes out for your rent, and now you can't get the car. But let's look at affordability, right? The word affordable. Technically, you can afford it. It's just a matter of priority. And so if you take it you put it into that particular context, you could say, hey, I can go do that, but I'm going to pay my rent, so I'm not homeless, or I'm not out on the street, or I want to have food on my table, so we're just gonna wait, in essence. And I have to use these human words because waiting and time is really a construct, and we don't really have to, but I'm not going to get into that right now. But I have to wait and listen and see what guidance I'm going to get to be able to get that $1,000 to put it towards that car. But it's a choice. We have choices every day. We can choose to go to Starbucks, which I have a really bad habit, and I try to only treat myself at least once or twice a week, every day. And I go, okay, I can afford it if I decided not to go to Starbucks, 5 times a week, which I don't, but 5 times a week, and I can instead put that money there. And so not only that too, but you have to look at money in the forms of service or free goods or in-kind services. I mean, in-kind goods where you have somebody that does something for free. That in essence is money. It's just that physical money or computer numbers are not exchanging themselves with the other person, right? So that's the way that you can save money. Money is good. So again, money is not the root of all evil. Money is an energy. Money is a currency, and money is something that is needed in order to live in this world. I can give you so many examples of where money came into play, and through my own self-training of manifesting money, where now I'm like, shoot, I got this down packed now. But before, oh, I was worried. Oh my God, I was worried. And I have a video that I'm going to be doing soon. I'm just waiting for the right time. And right now it's not the right time, but I'm going to do a video on how we manifested, our dream house one, which we're not in yet, but I'll save that for another time. Where when we first started out, I was living in, and it's, again, this is the whole nudge of the universe thing, right? Listening to the nudges, although they seem so far out of context and out of place, where we were living in a house. Well, the story starts before then, where, I purposely did not want to work at my professional job anymore because I absolutely hated it. And I left, and we moved, like, we were in Atlanta at the time, but we moved like an hour south to this really country city. And at that time, my husband, both of us were at home, and we are like, why do we do this? He wasn't my husband then, but why do we do this? And so we have this little girl who's 1.5 years old, and we're sitting there like, okay, so he finally gets a job. He's traveling, doing these things. But the house that we were decided to rent was like 100-year-old Victorian style house in a small little town, which I absolutely loved at the time. But, rats started coming in, and the owner really didn't want to do anything because the house is super old and he just didn't want to fix it. So I said, now is a good time for me to move back home, which is the reason why I moved back to North Carolina. I'm trying to speed this story up because it gets really detailed, but I'm going to go into more detail in that later video, where now we moved to North Carolina. I'm back in the house at 35. How old was I? I was like 30 years old back in my parents' house with a kid, while my then boyfriend, now husband, was traveling, doing a traveling job or whatever. And I'm like, oh my God. I love my parents. I do. I would never say that I don't. But, just being a full grown adult, being in the house is just different. And so now we go and we get this, he finally moves up here, and we move into this like 1-bedroom duplex that's in the hood. We got drug dealers to the right of us. We got, people addicted to crack coming and knocking on our door, and we're all sleeping in one room, and it's a mess. But I specifically am talking about this particular period in our life because I remember being so worried, but I also was driven to figure out what it was that we needed to do in order to get ahead, because I'm just like, oh my God, what can we do? Now we got to pay rent. Now we got to buy gas. I don't know how I'm going to get food. I'm buying slices of bread because we're going to eat sandwiches. I mean, we done been through it, right? We're going to eat sandwiches tonight. We're going to eat some ramen noodles the next night, and really picking our pockets, finding change to do things to get ahead. And so I had to check myself, and it was hard to get rid of that worry about money. Oh my gosh, it was hard to get rid of that worry. But I promise you, once you start working on yourself, once you start tuning into your thoughts and looking and seeing what those replaying of your subconscious, how that's replaying in your life, and how it's, sometimes involuntarily coming out of your mouth, you got to check yourself, and you got to get rid of the worry, because worry really associates itself with fear, and fear really and truly is not real. And so when you look at fear, it's honestly, you're stressing yourself about something that hasn't even happened yet. So how can fear be real when something hasn't happened yet, right? And so when you start looking at it that way, getting rid of the fear, getting rid of the worry, and anytime stress starts coming over you, just take a minute to meditate, breathe through it, really work on letting it release from your body, taking cleanses, doing what it is that you can to get to that moment of peace, then everything else is going to follow suit. I promise. I'm going to fast forward and I'll tell you this real quick. We went from that to trying to figure out like what we were going to do to now being full-time entrepreneurs, and we have absolutely no choice but to trust the universe and to trust that what we're doing is right and to trust that our needs will be provided for. We started, in 1 year making 6,000. We started the next year making 85, and then we doubled it the next year. And so that's why I'm telling you these things, because I know they work. Hands down, I know they work. So anyhow, all right. I'm going to stop talking about it. I can talk about manifesting money, and I can talk about that all night. But if you have questions, hey, Carolyn from UK, if you have questions about this, or, if you have other questions about anything else, then now is the time to go ahead and drop your comments down below, because I am doing the Ask Anything section. I need a little theme music to play right there. But before we get into that, while we're waiting to see if anything comes in, let me check my Facebook chat, because for some reason it will not pull up on the computer. And so I just want to make sure that I am not missing, I'm not missing anybody. So bear with me. Alrighty. Also to, hold on. Let me not get, too far ahead of myself. As you are listening, as you are here, do not forget that if you hang around with me until the end, you are going to get a secret Etsy code. You're going to get secret giveaway codes, and I'm only going to give them at the end. And so let's see here. This is the giveaway section right there. And the way that you enter into this giveaway is from this link that is above my head right there. You have to go to that link in order to submit your entry for the giveaway. Okay? Alrighty. So I don't see anything coming in on Facebook. Just want to make sure. Hey, Joanne from New York. All right. So we are talking about manifesting money. I know we did a whole lot of chatting about it. If you have questions about anything else that's that you would like to ask, then I'm here. But, hey, if we don't have anything, I'm not going to push anybody to ask anything. I would just happily go ahead and go to sleep because I'm tired. I was sitting there trying to take a nap earlier while my 8-month-old was asleep, and I just couldn't do it. I kept watching This Old House, which, yeah, I know. I've watched This Old House since I was a little kid, because I'm always fascinated about, like, construction. There you go. Now you know something strange about me. Other strange things would be I love avocados, but now not so much after my last pregnancy. So whatever. All right. So Lynthia, yes. How to get customers. Okay. So that let me see where to start with that, because, well, let me ask you this. Are you selling a product, or are you in the service industry? And also with that, are you doing it online, or do you do it in person, or do you do a blend of all of it? Just let me know. And that way I have a little bit better direction on where to go to give advice. Okay. Oh, thank you, Carolyn. Okay, your drive. Oh, long drive tomorrow. Okay, well, be safe on your drive. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for all the love. I really do. Really do appreciate it. Well, okay, so while I'm waiting for you to clarify just a little bit on there, you sell food in your home. Okay, gotcha. Food is one of those. So I'm going to talk about food from the prospect of me being a consumer, because I love to eat. But food is one of those products that you really have to come out the gate and make sure that people love it, because if they don't love it, then, and I'm not saying that you do good or bad, I have absolutely no idea, but I'm just speaking generally, that if they love it, they're going to tell other people, and if they don't, they're also going to tell other people. And so you have to get very innovative, and this kind of goes for the broader spectrum of things that, people sell, is that you have to make sure that, one, people know about it. And so within that, you have to get, whether, while we have this whole thing of like social media and postings and things of that nature, sometimes, especially with something like food, since it's so concentrated, is that, yes, they love I know that's right, girl, you better say it. Sometimes you have to go back old school, especially when it's something like food, whether it's giving out small samples, if it's, if it's, if you're doing fresh food, then you have to figure out how to give out small samples, especially like if you were to go to a vending event. Some events are small enough where you're able to sell. Like, I used to go to this one vending event where they were always selling food. And so they would give you a little sample and say, hey, and especially like, in the mall, when you go by the Chinese spots, they always got a piece of chicken on a toothpick. Probably not anymore with COVID going. I mean, yeah, all, things in the air and stuff. I gotta catch myself. But give people samples. Now, you can only do but so much online with food. I mean, you can put pictures up, which are great, because then people start salivating, but now they're going to want to taste it. And so, like, just go and do what you can, like put up flyers, go to different businesses and give them menus, right? So people are always looking for food at work, during lunchtime and whatnot. And if you have that ability to be able to do it, then definitely do so. Yes, food has to be presented beautifully. Yes, definitely. That is absolutely true. And so when you are plating that, I know, like, on my phone, I saw, which I don't use because I don't take pictures of food, but I know that there are special settings on phones, where you can select food, and for whatever reason, it like helps to enhance the picture and quality of the picture. And so you have, and then also too, especially in the age of technology, if you can't reach people who have samples, then maybe take video of other people eating your food. So now you have somebody else, not yourself, that's vouching for your food, but they can visually see somebody else eating your food and giving a testimonial about it in as real time as you can get. Okay. Let's see here. What else can you do about food? Those are just those are really some of the thoughts that come straight to my mind as we're talking. Yeah, because food is one of those things that you really got to just kind of dig back to your roots. Oh, that's what I was going to tell you. There is this, because I'm a history nerd, there is this history show that is on Hulu. Excuse me. It's originally comes on the History Channel. So if you do have Hulu, if you have the History Channel, then there's something that's called Food That Changed America. The Food That Changed America. And I believe that's the full title of it. Excuse me. And on this particular documentary, they talk about all of the big name brands and how they came into the industry and really how they started, and how they have become. And I'm talking about brands like Nabisco. I'm talking about Kraft. I'm talking about, Nestle. I'm talking about Hershey's. I'm talking about all of these major, billion-dollar companies, McDonald's, Pizza Hut. I think I'm on the episode of White Castle and Nathan's Hot Dogs now. Anyway, if you watch this documentary, which I really do recommend it, especially because you're in the food industry, not only will you become motivated, but you will also get to see how these people are being innovative and changing something that has already existed, how they're presenting it in a new light where people have seen the same thing, but now you're like, okay, I'm going to put it out there in a different way and change people's perception of it, right? And so if it is like, some of the food that you serve is something that people are used to, in essence, like, I don't know, for example, macaroni and cheese. People are used to macaroni and cheese, but how are you going to set your macaroni and cheese apart? What signature food item do you have? Yes, you may serve a lot of food, and then I'm going to go to the next question here in a second. Yes, you may serve a lot of food, but how are you going to put your signature stamp? What are you going to put out in the world to make your food best known for? Or what food do you want to be best known for? So anyway, watch that documentary and I'm shut up. Oh, you're welcome, my dear. Alrighty. How can I charge up or make full use of a money honey jar to attract money? Okay, so anytime you're working with jars, and this is whether they are sweet or sour, excuse me, you have to constantly be working with it, right? And so one thing that you want to do, and I have a money jar. I have to get up, but I have pajama bottoms on, so I'm not going to get up and get it right now. In the money jar, I have sealed the outside. And so I've used candle wax and I have never opened it. Anytime you're working with jars, you seal it so that that concentration of energy can stay in that jar, right? So now you have this giant energy ball, so to speak, where you are working with that. So once you seal it up, you can continue to actually burn candles on top of it, even after it is sealed. And the more that you burn candles on top of it, the more you're actually heating up literally what is in that jar to help to bring that energy towards you. Okay. Now, another thing too that's good is that you shake it up once a day. You shake it up, you shake it up, you shake it up. Now, when it comes to like sour jars, I always tell people, work with it and put it away, put it in a dark corner and whatnot. And then as you put it in a dark corner, leave it be. But when it's something that you're wanting to attract, don't put it in the dark. Make sure that it is out all the time. And so some of the things that you can put in your money honey jar, would be like honey, but also like sugar and syrup too. And the reason why I say that is honey works slower, but when it works slower, it is more consistent. It sticks. It's super sticky and it stays. So yes, it works slower, but it stays. Syrup is more runny. It's faster, but yeah, it's sticky, but it is also not as thick and sticky as honey is. And I say sugar because sugar is like the fastest and it's not sticky. And so if you have a combination of all of these different ingredients, sweetening ingredients within your jar, now you're hitting money at all angles in your jar. You have the consistent money, you have the fast money, and you have the medium money, so to speak. But yes, shake that jar every day. And I'm sorry, this question came from Instagram, so I know people on YouTube are like, what are you talking about? So it's a question I'm answering from YouTube. So shake that, no, I'm sorry, question from Instagram. So shake that jar, all the time, as much as you want. Make sure that you have a whole lot of different, representations of money inside of it. Put money inside of it, actual money. Put crystals like moss agate or pyrite or citrine into it. Put the money, syrup and sugar in it. Put the oils in it, like the ultimate money oil that I have over here. Put as much as you can of that energy of money into that jar and work with it. Don't bury it. Keep it out in the open. Work with it every day until you get your desired result. So I hope that answered your question. I really do hope it helped answer your question. And even to add on top of that too, while I'm thinking about it, you could put that jar out in the sun and allow that sun energy to heat the inside contents. And you can also charge it up with the moon as well. You can take a bath with it. Like you can take your jar, treat your jar as your baby. When it's something that you're attracting like money, keep it and make it your baby. And really, once you start paying more attention, money will start paying more attention to you. Alrighty, so let's see here. Coming through on YouTube, have a promotion evening, offer a tasting menu for a small price. Oh, that's a really good idea, Carolyn. Good. That's a really good idea. Thank you for offering that to her. That's very kind of you. Okay, you'll order the money today. Okay, good. So yes, ma'am. Now there are oh, okay. Yeah, well, here, I'll keep it up. Why not? I answered it. Okay. Yeah, because sometimes I'm like, I'll just keep talking, and I'm like, oh wait, let me make sure I answered your question. During the time of the broadcast. But anyhow, so yes, this is the segment where we are doing Ask Anything, any type of advice that you want. We're live on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter right now. And so if you don't see the question that I'm answering, it's because it's on another platform. And so I try to make sure that I tell you where I'm answering the question from before you go like, wait, where is that question? I don't see it. Yes. And just to make sure that we are on the same page, because we're getting ready. Oh my God, time really did go by fast. I love talking about money. That's why I'm in business, because I've been an entrepreneur since I was 8. I was hustling like, I don't know if you remember, but like the giant Nihilators, they weren't the small ones, but they came out with the giant square ones, and they were a little bit more chewier than the smaller ones. I was hustling those in school for like 10 cents. And my parent, I kind of think about it, especially because now my daughter is about the same age, and I'm like, would I encourage my child to break school rules and sell candy? Not only was I selling the candy, I was also selling 50-cent earrings, because my mother had a store, and the earrings that she wasn't selling, she would give it to me to sell in school. And so I was selling earrings to kids in school. I know, right? And that was in 3rd grade. I've just been selling stuff all my life, and it's just embedded in me. So anyhow, I have had so much fun tonight. I really and truly have. So don't forget to go ahead and enter into that giveaway. I'll pop that screen up real quick so that you can see the way that you get to this giveaway. Wait, right here. Is by going to this link that is right above my head. On that link, you will have a link to the giveaway page itself. You will also have a link to my Etsy shop, and then you will also have a link. Oh no, you'll have a link to all of my other social media. So if you're interested in joining Magick School, excuse me, where we are covering everything from A to Z and spirituality, magic, and manifestation, then definitely head over to YouTube. And also, I got word today by email. I put a post up on YouTube where now I'm eligible for super thanks, which is essentially like a tip jar. And so, excuse me, I was like, oh, this is so cool. So on certain videos, and again, because we're full-time entrepreneurs, trust me, I'm going to share it. Then you have an opportunity to offer a tip anywhere from like $2 to $50. Trust me, every bit of support, I am humbly grateful, and I am so appreciative, because when we really went into this business 2 years ago and my husband quit his job to help me, I said, we are going to sink or swim, and God doggone it, we are going to swim, and we're going to swim with the sharks and we're going to stay alive. And that is what has happened. So I am going to put up these codes right now. I know you've been waiting for that, because you have hung out with me up until now, and I am thankful. And so yes, this is the code. I'm trying to save you a little bit of money here tonight. Excuse me. At 12% off. And I'm sorry, give me 1 second. 12% off on my Etsy right now by using that code. And if you decide to go and make a purchase and you want to get an extra boost after you've already entered in the giveaway up at the link above me, then you can use that giveaway code to put into your Etsy purchase that lets me know this person is getting an extra 100 entries into the almost $300 giveaway that I'm doing at the end of the month. And so how you do that is that you go load up your cart with everything that you want. And then right before you check out, there is a box that says add additional note to seller. And in that box is where you put that code, which I think is mind and body. I can't see it. It's too small. I recently got glasses. Mind and body. Yes, that is what it is. where you put that code right there. I have had so much fun tonight. I've had fun every night doing this because it is just a joy to be able to sit with y'all and chat with you all throughout this whole entire process. Don't delay because this code is going to expire at midnight tonight. So once we start tomorrow again, you will receive another code that will come up, and who knows what that percentage is. I honestly forget how I said it. So nobody knows until tomorrow. All right, y'all. I love each and every one of you all. Oh, my light decided to come on. Yeah, I know, right at the end. I love each and every one of you all, and I